We are so grateful, for example, by the way you handled the matter concerning our late sister. I'm going to join colleagues. We are now at church, but we are so grateful by the assistance you gave, the session that sat here to mourn her, and I would wish to see similar a similar thing extended to other people. Right Honorable Speaker, there is a matter of national importance that I want the Minister of Education to handle concerning the issuance of certificates to our learners who have completed levels in education, say O-level, A-level, and other areas of education. What we do here normally is that in Uganda, they allow a person to join the next level using the pass slip, which is provisional results. But when a learner is supposed to join an institution outside of Uganda, and in other countries, they don't allow them to use pass slips. Instead, they demand for certificates. And then UNEB takes up to between 6 months to a year before they issue the real certificates. Yet when parents are paying for examination fees, that money also includes money for the certificates. So what happens is that if a learner is to join an institution outside the country, that learner must lose a year as he or she waits for the certificate. I've been approached by some parents who want to take their children outside the country for studying, but they other countries insist, even including countries here in East Africa, like in Kenya, they insist that you must take the real certificate before they allow a student to join their institutions. Yet here UNEB takes up to between 6 months to a year before they issue the certificates. My appeal, Right Honorable Speaker, is that the Ministry of Education informs this House how they are handling this matter and what they think about such a scenario where somebody wants to join an institution outside the country and UNEB takes time to issue the certificates. Right Honorable Speaker, that is my concern, for which I'm seeking guidance and assistance for these parents and learners. When you go to UNEB right now, you find there are so many people lined up waiting for their documents. It seems there is no clear policy of issuing academic documents to those who need them in time. It takes a lot of time, people moving up and down, which is so tedious and very inconvenient. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Betty. Honorable Betty, for the sitting members of Parliament, there is no doubt that we will always honor them in the House because it's provided for under the Parliament Administration of Parliament Act. That is within our preserve. Maybe the other, let me find out from government.
Madam Speaker, I wish on behalf of government to equally join Parliament in paying our last respect in terms of condolences to the family of the late Minister of Works Emeritus, the Honorable Engineer Azuba. I did indicate earlier on, Right Honorable Speaker, that government through cabinet is already handling the issue of the proposed law on granting official and state burials to the VIPs in different categories. I equally informed the House that in the absence of that law, which is still proposed law, which is still before cabinet, we are using the precedent we have set, the practice we have set on the specific case of the Honorable former Minister of Works. His Excellency the President has invoked his powers under the Constitution, where the executive authority is invested in him or her, and he has directed that the Minister Emeritus of Works be granted an official burial. This morning, the Minister for the Presidency with the National Organizing Committee will be meeting the family of the fallen Minister Emeritus. On the question raised to the Minister of Education and Sports, I beg to request that we wait, because the ministry equally has a subject matter on the order paper, such that a minister from that ministry can respond to that highly technical question. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think we don't want to burden the President every now and then to be issuing selective official burials or providing some specific benefits to other people. What Honorable Beta has raised is very important. How do you manage people who have ever been in Parliament or some offices when they pass on? Let me give an example of Bank of Uganda. Bank of Uganda, when you are an employee and you retire, they will treat you until you die. And when you die, they will bury you. So why don't you also come up with a mechanism? How members of Parliament, how government officials, if they pass on, how they are treated, even in treatment, because even the treatment is selective. It is very unfair for a member of Parliament who was here. When he falls sick, they selectively say that one will not be treated. Others are what? Treated. Of course, for me, I'm not among those who will fall sick. But I'm just, God, I will not. There are very many colleagues of ours who are suffering out there. If you get them, you always sympathize. If you give him 20,000, you might think you have given him 20 million. So I want Parliament to come up with a better mechanism how to deal with colleagues of that nature. Thank you.
Still, let's finalize on that one, Katesh, before you come. Yes. Honorable Katesh, is it on the same?
Yeah, Madam Speaker, I just want to extend my condolences. The late Monica, ironically, was a very ardent golfer. So this house has lost two sports women. She was the president of the Uganda Ladies Golf Union, and until a few weeks ago, we've been having golf games with her. And so I want to join the House and the country in passing the condolences to the family, but also to the entire golf union, and pray that may her soul rest in peace.
Thank you. On the issue being raised by Honorable Nandala.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to add my voice on this what I would describe as the mercy of the President, the prerogative of the President to grant the official burial. Why I also insist that there must be a clear guideline, Madam Speaker. We were caught up in a very difficult situation in Lango when we lost His Highness Yosa Modurebi. The communication from government had told us that the President had granted an official burial. But when we went on the ground, you hardly saw the officialness of government on the ground. And it put a lot of pressure on the local organizing committee who are doing burial. So if there is category A, category B, category C, category D of that grant of official, it should be laid here so that we know in this case it is category C. The government only contributes maybe half or a quarter of the budget, because it's bringing a lot of problems for people on the ground. So I would like to ask that the government could clarify particularly on this, so that the pressures on the family and the local organizing committees and the conflicts that are usually arising out of such barriers could hardly be managed. Thank you.
Thank you. You have something to say? But maybe you could first respond to what Honorable Nandala was talking about, medical. Because we are talking about death. We don't want anybody to die. Let's look at issues of medical first. What happened with that law?
I'm sure the Chief Whip will conclude on this, but first I wanted to send my condolences to the family of the minister who passed on. She was an inspiration to many girls, especially those who are taking sciences, and we want to honor and recognize her contribution, especially as a Minister of Works. And when she worked so hard, I worked with her so hard when I was the Minister of State for Planning, in ensuring that we provide resources to revive the Uganda Airlines. And as a country, we shall miss her and we honor her contribution to that. Regarding, I think, the issues of state or official values and treatment of government officials, I think what remains is for you, Madam Speaker, to give government a deadline to bring this bill, because the bill is already in cabinet. So I think it's within your powers to guide government to bring this bill within a certain time so that we close it. Otherwise, at the moment, as the Chief Whip said, it remains a good practice by His Excellency the President to come in the absence of the law. So we should be able to appreciate His Excellency the President for what he's doing, especially for the families that are...
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Honourable members, I will not direct government, because government has a legislative agenda. You are executive, and business comes from executive. You have a legislative agenda, please bring the bill if you deem it fit. Because what Honourable Nathan is saying, let's not bother the President all the time. There should be some things that we should be able to do without looking for the President. If like what the Honourable Dur said, if it is category A, we are giving this person, this kind of person was a former minister, belongs under category B, like we have agreed as Parliament, as Parliamentary Commission, that we support all those families with just a mere token of 10 million. A token of 10 million, that's what we've agreed. All the families, all the former members of Parliament, if one passes on or he needs that 10 million for treatment, that's what we can afford. Yes.
I think what you are raising is good. Parliament is doing something. And you see, the issue we're raising has an implication on the budget. So the person who can bring that is you. But also what we're trying to put up, Honorable Daudi, you must know that tomorrow it could be you. And the earlier you sort it out, because you don't need to look tomorrow. Right now you may be accessing the president, but tomorrow when you leave that office, you will not be able to what? Access. So you will be one of those who will work until you fall sick more. So we want you to really work on this as quick as possible. Madam Speaker, I'm sure you are getting letters in your office from one of the former leaders of opposition about emoluments of a leader of what? Opposition. I don't know if you have got them. I don't want to mention them.
Yes, I have got.
I don't want to say because I was one of them that I'm interested in that. Me, I'm not. But it is very important that once people... No. Yes, I'm entitled, but I'm not the one chasing it now. But the one who wants it more now are those who have left. Even maybe those families which or them have died. Because when we're passing that law, I think we're a bit selfish. I was here. We considered only the speaker.
Just a minute. When we passed the law and considered all the former speakers. And I agree with you. We should have put maybe another category of leaders of opposition or whichever. But that's food for thought. We can do an amendment to that.
Madam Speaker, we would love that law to equally include former commissioners of Parliament. Yes, you are part of the administration
and former
of
government chief whips.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, the funeral bill being sponsored by the Ministry of Public Service was brought to Cabinet. Cabinet reviewed it and again sent it back to the first Parliamentary Council to do some bit of surgery. We have a standing rule in Cabinet that it is only bills whose principles are approved by Cabinet that should form part of the legislative agenda of government. Because in the past, most ministries would send on their list bills that are yet being conceived to be part of the legislative agenda. So once the principles of the proposed law that will highlight the different categories of leaders and what they are entitled to in terms of burials are handled in Cabinet, definitely the bill will come on the floor. Then the members of Parliament will be at liberty to look at the different categories proposed by government. If there are categories that we feel we should include, then it can be included. But before the law is in place, I beg that we allow the President to continue exercising the executive authority. So it is work in progress. The bill is already before Cabinet. Once the principles are done, it will come to Parliament through the Ministry of Public Service. Okay.
Thank you,
Madam Speaker.
honourable members, and that's why I've told our members, let's protect our pension. I have seen members of Parliament, former members of Parliament, who are suffering. But when you get somebody who is earning just mere 2 million shillings out of the pension, the person is very, very happy. Very, very happy. Now, when somebody brought in a bill, was making a proposal that they want to get 50% of their pension, that people should be allowed to get 50% of their pension. I am sorry, members, we will not allow that. We should be able to differentiate between a pension and a SACCO. We should not do that. And then there is something that, Honourable Minister, that I want you to make a follow-up. Nathan, I want you to listen to this, because you have a lot of money in the pension. How can you people agree in a board that you're going to do an investment, buy a building in town, you don't involve other stakeholders? I am the biggest stakeholder. I give you money, 30% as Parliament. Now you only hear it from the news that we are buying. This money is not your money. These are pensioners' money. Huh? So I am the Honourable Minister. No purchase is going to take place until all the stakeholders are involved.
Madam Speaker, I strongly support your position that our pension should be ring-fenced from us, that we should also be assisted. It should be ring-fenced from us, because from us and for us, because when we are still here, we tend to go a bit insane in facilitating our voters, that we forget ourselves. It took a strong stand to have our salaries as a no-go area for loans. Otherwise, if people had started mortgaging everything theirs and remaining with nothing on their pay slips. So, Madam Speaker, I strongly support you that you move to protect us from us in that direction. I also feel that it is quite unfair for the board to continue doing things on our behalf without your knowledge. But, Madam Speaker, the issue for which I was seeking information from the minister was about the formers who are still in service. I've seen the presidential, the Ministry of Presidency, ministerial policy statement with many former prime ministers as presidential advisors and earning a salary of up to 20 million, and also are we going to now to give them their benefits as formers when they are still serving us and drawing a salary from the consolidated fund? The same people. If I'm a former speaker and I'm now a prime minister and a minister somewhere else, will I be picking money when I'm still also serving as an advisor to the president, also fetching a monthly salary? I see the former vice president, the former prime minister, Mama Babas, all of them have now turned back as president's advisors. I want to be clarified on that.
Thank you.
Before the minister comes in, Madam Speaker, you have raised a very important point. And I thought that as a student of finance, I should amplify your point. When you are looking at investments, especially investing money for the circle, whose membership?
For the pensioners.
For the pensioners. You have to look at what we call the age liability profile. If you are going to invest into an asset that is going to bring, whose rate of return or payback period
the return
is
on investment.
Yes, is likely to go beyond the lifetime of the pensioner whom you are investing for, then it is unlikely that that person will benefit from that rate of return. Therefore, I want to agree with you that when the boards are making decisions, they must be mindful that someone must enjoy his return in his lifetime. If I am 70-year-old and you are going to invest into a building that is going to bring return after 40 years, then it is not in my interest. Therefore, I agree with you.
But also, Honorable Katesh,
yes,
you first need to look at how many members of parliament have left parliament and are going to withdraw all their savings.
Yes.
Because when you're a first timer, you're allowed to take all your savings. So,
but, Madam Speaker, that's why there has to be a careful analysis of the age liability profile. At the same time, look at the lifetime of the members of parliament, especially in their positions. You cannot invest as if you are investing for an 18-year-old who perhaps has more years to live and enjoy his benefits.
True. Thank you.
On those things of annuity and what you are talking about investment, withdrawing the pension is at the age. That's why public service says the moment you make 60, you retire. Then they pay you your gratuity and your pension because they know you are remaining with very few years. So, Madam Speaker, I think also, as you raised the issue of investment, whom are you investing for in the building? Are you investing for the new members of parliament, or you are investing for the old ones, or and at what age?
Exactly.
And if you are investing for the old ones who are remaining with a very few years on earth, that building is not worth it for them. In fact, for them, what is worth it are a quick liquidity process like treasury bills, which are for 90 days, because anytime somebody can go, you need to pay his what? His money. And also, by the way, Madam Speaker, when you raise that, those who are going to get 50 or less and whatever, it depends. If I have invested my money and I see the returns by the others in that law, that you are not giving me a nice return, I can say, please, I want to direct you, take my money to this X place where I'll get a better what? A better return. From what I'm seeing from the pension, the return we're getting, Madam Speaker, is not worth it. And the reason why it's not worth it is because they're investing in the treasury.
Procedure. I thought you are the ones who started that pension scheme. No. Yes.
Madam Speaker, we debated here and passed the Pension Act. We also have the authority to amend it if we so wish. And the pension is a very, very, very serious issue. Are we really procedure right, especially my brother, to want us to debate this important matter of pension in a very casual manner like this, when we have when we have the opportunity to bring amendments, when we have the thank you. Are we proceeding well, given that we have the income tax amendment bill on the order paper?
No, Honorable Nathan, if you think it is not doing well, we'll get time and do that amendment. So for now, let's go to the next item.